Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Bridget. I am the social media guru and trainer here at Realty Executives New Jersey, and today we're going to be talking about online lead generation with your brand. Now, if you have any questions as you go about today's webinar, please put them into the chat box on the side of the screen there. What you do is click on chat, and you can put your question, or if you just want to say hi. Love to know who's here with me today. So let's get into getting recognized on social media. Now, with your personal brand, you have to establish an image, an impression, a position. With this identity, you develop your own brand assets, which of course already include your resume. But now maybe you're going to add a logo or a website, maybe a tagline, visual images. But just like Realty Executives, you're going to need to create a value or mission statement that represents your why and your purpose, either as a personal mantra or to describe your business's overarching goal. Now, have you ever thought about your brand personality? Does your brand have a personality? Here's the thing. Your brand definitely has a personality, regardless if you have thought about it or not. And it's important you understand and develop your brand personality so you can best present yourself to the world as well as achieve your business and marketing goals. When you build your personal brand, you need to keep into consideration a couple things here. So, when creating your brand, it's a good idea to understand your audience. Who are the clients you want to reach? And when you decide this, you want to think about these clients in detail. What are their characteristics? What motivates them to buy or sell? What's the best way to connect with them? Answering these particular questions is an important first step to develop your own brand. Now, another key series of brand-related questions centers on you. What makes you unique? How do you differentiate yourself from other professionals in the real estate field? Maybe you specialize in certain markets or clientele. What's important to you as a professional? Also, how are some of the best ways you help your clients achieve their housing goals? And for a truly memorable brand experience that reaches across different kinds of marketing materials, which includes your emails, business cards, websites, whether it's print or digital brochures, these visuals are essential. So you want to make sure that you are developing a consistent brand look and feel. Well, all right, I've got a video here. We're going to start with a little explanation about your presence online, but also your presence online in Prime Agent. So this is important here to understand how you can set yourself up in your Prime Agent account, therefore starting to establish your presence online. So this here is from Realty Executives International. Let's see what they have to say.
Good morning, and thank you guys for joining me. My name is Christy Arsenia, and I am the product and training specialist here at Realty Executives International. And today we're going to talk about establishing your presence online. If you guys have questions throughout the webinar, go ahead and just type them into the question box. I'll answer them as I go or at the end, depending on the question. But do go ahead and put them in as soon as you think of them so you don't forget. So today we're going to talk about why it matters, why your online profile matters so much. We're also going to talk about building your bios in Prime Agent and some of the other major sites that you should be on as agents. So we'll talk about specifics on what to include in your bio. We'll talk about your Prime Agent bio and your Prime Agent profile. We'll talk about Zillow.com and Trulia.com, Realtor.ca and Realtor.com. We'll talk about the importance of reviews, and then we'll also hit a little bit on social media. We do only have an hour for this webinar, so some of the social media stuff, I'm just going to go over a couple things. And then the beginning of next year, which is crazy to say, but we'll have a few webinars that talk specifically about different social media sites. So this is going to be just a quick intro to the social media sites, mostly just making sure you have a profile on those sites. And then we'll get into more of the how to use them to your advantage in the beginning of next year. So why does your online profile matter as a real estate agent? This is from the 2018 Zillow book that they send out every year that just talks about the different profiles and who's buying and who's selling and that kind of thing. The important thing is when people are buying and looking for an agent, and this is also true when they're selling, but I used buying just as an example. So when you're building your profile, you can think about this kind of stuff. So the median age of buyers is 41, which includes the millennials, which is the 42%, and then the Generation X, which is just slightly older than those millennials. So the millennials and the Generation X are the big internet users. You know, they look for everything online. And then I just thought this was interesting that 64% married and then 16% never married. So this is kind of what to think about when you're building that profile. Here's your audience for who's looking at houses. 46% of the buyers that are looking are first-time home buyers, and then the repeat buyers are 54%. But if you look at this number, that 30% of the repeat buyers have only ever purchased one home in their lifetime. So, you know, if you've purchased one home and it's been maybe 10 years, it's sort of like you're a new first-time home buyer. So if you combine these two, it's a pretty big chunk of people who have not worked with a real estate agent before, or it's been a really long time. So the game might have changed since they last bought a home. 74% of buyers use an agent. So when people are buying or selling a home, they're looking for agents. And this is how buyers found their agent. So referrals are always going to be really important, and that's where your reviews are going to come in a little bit. And then the website is the second most used spot. So it's important that you guys have some kind of web presence. And this is why, because when buyers are looking for an agent, and this is also true of sellers, when they're looking for agents, they're going to go online to learn about who you are. So what does this mean for you? You need to be sure that you have a really strong bio and that it's online and that it's consistent. So why do you need a bio? Because you do want to build that brand. So if you are someone who specializes in first-time home buyers, you want that to be what people know about you when they Google you. Maybe you do a lot of foreclosures, that kind of thing. So your brand and who you are and where you work, it needs to be easy to find online, and you need to have that consistency. Also, you want to show your hyper-local expertise. So when you're doing these profiles that are going to end up on your website, Zillow website, Facebook, you know, people are looking for someone who knows the area. So whether they're looking to buy or sell, they want to know that you are the person to go to in your local neighborhood, your city. So by having an online presence and keeping that consistency, you're letting people know that you are that local expert. And then it's, of course, going to have SEO benefits. So if you make sure that you have profiles set up on Prime Agent, on your website, on Zillow, on Realtor.com, on Facebook, when people Google your name, all of your stuff is going to pop up. So if someone types in Bob Glenn, real estate agent, you want Facebook page to pop up. You want your website to pop up. So the more you guys have consistency across your profiles, the easier it is for people to find you, and that's going to start popping up more and more. So how do you do this? How do you create this strong bio that really shows off who you are so that you can use that bio on other parts of the internet? So you want to gather your information. And this can be true whether you're a first-time agent or if you haven't updated your profiles for a while. You know, a lot of times it's easy to think, well, I've got my profile in there, I don't need to touch it for a while. But hopefully you guys are consistently selling more and more expensive houses, getting those higher listings, winning awards, getting local recognition. That's the kind of stuff you want to make sure you're updating on your profile at least once a year, if not once every 6 months. So gather your info, and if you're new, gather all of your info. If you have been around for a while, you want to make sure that you grab all that more recent stuff. So your information should include your skills, specialties, which areas you serve, and you want to get specific on this. So if I work in my local area, I could just say I'm a real estate agent in Scottsdale. But that's not really helpful because there's a lot of real estate agents in Scottsdale. So if I specialize in a neighborhood like DC Ranch or McCormick Ranch, or another city that's maybe not a ranch, but you guys get the idea. You want to make sure that you are getting really specific about the areas you serve. How many years of experience do you have? And if you're a brand new agent, I feel like you might not want to say I've been a real estate agent for 1 year, but there's a reason you went into real estate. So use your past experience to talk about how that got you ready to be a real estate agent, or talk about how many years you've lived and served in the neighborhoods and city that you're becoming a real estate agent in. Also, any awards and accolades. And then your testimonials or reviews. So hopefully you guys have some kind of system after you close a deal that you're sending an email out or you're sending a link out to your past clients to get those testimonials and reviews. Those are really going to be important because when people go to find an agent online, if they didn't get your information directly from a friend or family member, they're going to just find you online, and those reviews are going to be important. Even if someone does send a great review, don't just use it once. So maybe you sent them a link to put a review up on Zillow. Take that Zillow review and put it on your other profiles. Also, reviews are important because even if someone does recommend you, their friend or family member is still probably going to Google you to see how other people felt about you. So those are really going to be important. So, a lot of times you guys don't have a Realty Executives website. I recommend having a Realty Executives website because it works together with Prime Agent. But no matter what your website, you want to make sure that you still have the Prime Agent bio, areas of expertise, photo, all of that stuff filled in. And the reason why is because if someone goes to realtyexecutives.com, types in a city, and they're able to pull up all of the agents that serve that city, you want them to be able to find more information about you. So if you don't do anything in Prime Agent and someone finds you on the Realty Executives website, this is what your profile is going to look like. It's going to have the default logo photo. It's going to have the information that you've entered, which is usually just a cell phone number and a email address. But then you can see there's no bio down here. So you don't know anything about this person besides just literally how to get a hold of them. If you have filled in your information, this is what it's going to look like. So you can see that she's got a nice professional photo here. She has a link to her own agent website, an easy way to get a hold of her. And then she has all of her Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. She has all of this connected through Prime Agent. So if I'm looking for an agent in Tucson and I see Sarah's information, I'll at least be able to learn about who she is and visit her other profiles. So how do we do this? So you've gathered your skills, you've gathered your information. Now it's time to beef up your bio. So it's one thing to have just a list of your specialties, a list of how long you've been doing stuff. But as you guys know, being a real estate agent is a lot of a personal connection. So people might love the areas you serve, your specialties, but they don't have a good feel for who you are. And you really want them to be able to click with you. So when you have your information that I listed before, now you need to add some more personal touches. So how did you decide to become an agent? What made you decide to be an agent? is really important because people kind of get a feel for not only what your past work experience is, and sometimes that helps with real estate. What's your favorite thing about your community? So this is going to do a couple things. One, it's going to let people know who you are a little bit. And it's also going to let people know that you know the local community and that you're part of that local community, which helps with that hyper-local part of your profiles. And then what do you do in your free time? So this kind of is the same thing as what's your favorite thing about your community. If you do things in your free time in your community, that's great. Add those. But this might also be where you talk about travel, or that you write, or that you review restaurants, that kind of thing. So this is a good example of a great profile. He's got his information where he's talking about he's America's #2 realtor according to the 1,000. He's talking about his sales numbers, his price range, years of experience. So this has what you're kind of looking for. The only thing this is missing is some of that personal stuff. So I'm going to send you guys the slideshow after the webinar, and then you'll see this slide that's how to write a strong agent profile. And this is just a few little tips for you. So now that you've got some ideas on how to start that bio, let's go into Prime Agent and I'll show you how to do it. So I'm going to show you on this webinar. You guys will have this recording when we're finished. And then I'm also going to include a guide with that email that just talks specifically about updating the My Account section of Prime Agent. So let's just jump into Prime Agent real quick. So when you're in Prime Agent, My Account, My Profile, this is what's going to show up on realtyexecutives.com when people go to Google and type in Realty Executives in your name. Usually it's going to be the Realty Executives International profile page that pops up. So you want to make sure this information is all correct. So under your profile, just make sure that your phone number or your mobile phone, whichever one is the best place for people to reach you, is checked where it says Show on Profile Website. Make sure this is filled in. So if you're using a Realty Executives website or you're using a website from a different company, just make sure that this address is here so that when people go to find information about you, if they go to realtyexecutives.com, they use the agent search feature. So make sure that site's filled in, because see right here, it says site. That is how they'll go directly to your website. And then this is where you'll fill in those Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, any of those URLs that you have your social media on. That is how you get these buttons to show up. So if you don't have those filled in, these will not show up on your agent profile page. Under My Account, My Photo, this is where you're going to add that photo that's going to show up right here. Just click it and upload that photo from your computer. And your photo, you want to make sure you update this about every 5 years. I've seen some real estate agents, of course, they weren't with Realty Executives, but there were some real estate agents that have photos that look like they were taken, 10, 20 years ago. So make sure that that's up to date. And then My Bio. This is where you fill in all of that information that you're going to put here. So you've got your bio, and then under expertise, this is where you've got your areas served and your specialties. Now, if you wanted to include your areas served and your specialties in your bio, that is completely fine. The only difference is on the Realty Executives agent pages, you can see where it says areas served and specialties. So if you fill it in under this area, it's going to separate it on your website like this. We also have people that can help you out. So I know a lot of times people get intimidated because they feel like they're not great writers. I'm going to send you this link as well when I send all of the stuff, recording and the resources. This is just a survey you can take where you can fill this out, and then we have some people here that can help you out by updating your bio or writing that strong bio, and we can actually put that directly into Prime Agent for you. So I'll send you guys the link to this, but this is really helpful if you kind of get stuck or if you feel like you're not a great writer and you just would like some help writing that profile. So I'll be sure to send you that link. And then I've got some great examples. I'll let you guys click on these when I send you the slideshow, but I've put a couple examples of nice profiles that are in Prime Agent. So LinkedIn can kind of go under.
Okay. I know that was a little bit on the long side, but I'm hoping that you took a look to see what Krista was talking about as far as getting your bio put together, because of course, that's extremely important. Now, oddly enough, I have my own How to Write a Strong Agent Bio webinar. Fully dedicated, a webinar dedicated to writing your bio. Yeah, I'm leaving that there. Okay. But also, if you need any help walking through Prime Agent with updating your Prime Agent profile, because as you saw, that is an important piece, I'm happy to help walk you through it step by step. I've got that guide she also mentioned. I can send you that. I also have the tips for writing a strong agent bio. I've got that as well. So if there's any of the information you're interested in, I am happy to share it with you. Let's continue on. So your real estate brand identity is essentially the who, what, how, why, where, all that good stuff. Of who you are there. It sets a tone for how you operate. It provides a sense of who you are, what you represent, delivers your message and content to your audience. And if you're successful, it has the ability to transform ordinary consumers into loyal followers of your brand. Now, it takes time, to fully cultivate, but a real estate brand identity will essentially create a visual representation of your business or brand itself for clients. And in addition, a real estate brand identity will also create a personality for your brand. I keep saying this word, right? Personality. So as a part of your real estate online marketing strategy, this character, if you will be used not only to communicate your message, but to evoke specific feelings in your audience. In essence, this personality will be used to engage with your customer base, as well as leveraging it to cultivate new customers. So, I'm going to go through a few things about the benefits of successful real estate branding. Okay. So as a small fish in a big pond, brand recognition is a prerequisite to success. And to get noticed in today's crowded real estate marketplace, you're going to need some type of branding to get your message across or have that presence felt. So this identity will assist in not only establishing a clear and consistent message, which is critical to reaching maintaining customers, but a face to go along with it. And done right, the mere sight or mention of your brand's name will bring instant recognition to trust among customers, which has the potential to positively impact financial results down the line. Okay, so I say Starbucks. What do you think? I say Coca-Cola. What do you think? I say Google. What do you think? These things, saying them, maybe you smell the coffee. Maybe you can see the colorful circle from Google, or maybe you can hear that can of Coca-Cola opening. That's the recognition. Now, along with the ability to produce instant recognition, brand identity also has the power to build trust. This intangible component is a huge benefit for success, especially for real estate investors, as a person's home is generally an integral part of their livelihood. This equates to a significant amount of emotional attachment, which will hinder a majority of real estate investors who are deemed untrustworthy. However, a real estate brand identity can help cement a layer of trust among buyers and sellers to help bridge a gap. Now, the one aspect every realtor lacks when first starting out is credibility. So one of the major advantages of a real estate brand identity is the ability to dramatically expedite this process. So as a rookie, your level of experience will be at an all-time low in comparison to competitors, and potential customers will be judging your business and services on your credentials. And with none to speak of, your identity will play an instrumental role in not only developing your reputation, but maintaining and refining it through the years. So your brand identity is the first step you should take to begin constructing your credibility. Now, the final element, drum roll please, the final element to a real estate brand identity is its promise. And that promise, whether you're the fastest or most reliable, whatever it is, it needs to be fulfilled each and every time in order to obtain the benefits I just mentioned. Identify your audience and build a strategy that will allow you to connect with them in a way that feels natural for you and is effective for your brand. Clarity and consistency are key to building your brand. I keep saying the same word, but a brand personality is a set of characteristics attributed to your brand that makes it more human. It's shaped and molded by how the brand acts, what it says, what it looks like. Your brand personality is the living essence of who you are. Giving your brand personality equals giving your brand something to connect with. Just as humans have different personalities, so do brands. Having a brand personality is what separates your brand from the status quo. It's what helps you stand out from the digital noise. It's what separates you from others in the industry. A brand personality is what connects your audience, partners, and community with you, your brand, and the people inside. And many people confuse brand identity with brand personality. So identity, personality, they're two separate things. And I want to make sure you understand how both brand personality and brand identity relate and work together. So if you've never heard of Pam Moore, she is fantastic with all of her general marketing knowledge. And I want to play this short podcast here for you on your brand identity versus brand personality.
Hey there, Zoomers, and welcome to Social Zoom Factor. This is your host, Pam Moore. Today, we are talking about one of my very favorite topics, which is branding. Did you know that brands really can be similar to humans? Think about these things. A brand has a heart, it has personality, and it has morals. And here's the good news. Brands can never be perfect and they can make mistakes. And this is because brands are made up of people like me and you who, I don't know about you, but I'm definitely not perfect and I definitely make mistakes. So when it comes to branding, when it comes to building brand identities and personalities, you need to embrace imperfect perfection, because I see so many businesses, and I've been working in the area of marketing and digital and tech for over 25 years. And I'll tell you, I see so many different businesses, large and small, that just get stuck because they're trying to be perfect. They think all of their competitors are kicking their butt, and it's like, we don't know where to start. We don't know how to evolve. Throw that out the window. A brand can inspire. A brand can connect with other humans. A brand can influence thought, emotion, and drive action. You can drive your audience to action that can make a difference in people's lives. When you give your brand personality, it means that you give your brand something that humans can connect with. So just as humans have different personalities, think of the people in your life. Think of when you go to a networking event or you're at your local gym or wherever you may be. You're attracted to certain people because of their behaviors and their personality and the way that they treat you, the way that they talk to you. So brands, businesses, and how they brand themselves, we are able to have this same impact so that we can make sure we are attracting the right customers. And when you take the time to understand your brand's personality and you really embrace that, it is what is going to help you separate really really easily from the mundane status quo. It's what will help you stand out from the digital sea of noise that we all know is so loud on the web today. A brand personality is what connects your audience, your target customers, your partners, your community with you, with your brand, and with the people inside of your brand. So what is really a brand personality? It is a set of human characteristics attributed to your brand that make it more human. You don't need to overcomplicate it. Let's say that again. It's a set of human characteristics attributed to your brand that make it more human. A brand personality is shaped and molded by how the brand acts, what it says, and what it looks like. Oftentimes, people confuse brand personalities with brand identities. Whereas a brand personality is a set of human characteristics that make it more human, a brand identity is the manifestation of your brand personality. Hang with me here for a second. I'm going to explain this to you. Now, a brand identity includes such things as your logo, your color scheme, the tone of your voice that you use in your blog, your videos, and your social posts. Think of your brand personality as the back end, behind the scenes kind of stuff in a way, and the brand identity at the front end, what the user sees. Now, when you're doing video and you're speaking and that type of thing online or wherever you may be, your brand personality comes out through the execution of those words and of the colors and the messages that you are delivering. So knowing how your brand personality will be presented makes it easier to work with freelancers and agencies and designers who maybe are working on your brand assets and campaigns, or it could be your own internal team as well. But your brand identity, it includes your color scheme, the shapes that you use, the topography, the brand voice, and so much more. Now, I don't have time to go into all the details on brand identity right now, but I wanted to make sure you understood how both brand personality and brand identity relate together. And quickly, I want to share with you what are the 7 traits that make for a successful brand personality. Number 1, it's authentic. You got to be the real deal. Number 2, it needs to be memorable. It takes 6 to 7 brand touches for somebody to remember your brand. Each brand touch counts. Number 3, it's got to build trust. Number 4, it needs to connect with your ideal customer, with your audience. Number 5, it's got to have value. Your brand personality should complement your business model. Number 6, it needs authority. It should be helping you establish authority. And number 7, it needs to be bold, not afraid to shine and be one of a kind. You know, I love creating fun and edgy brands. You may have a more serious brand, but at the same time, you need to make sure that you are bold so that it will be memorable and you can build trust and people can understand exactly what your brand is about. I wish you the greatest success. That's a wrap.
So Pam Moore, she's always got some really great, and she may not be real estate specific, but her general marketing knowledge applies to everyone and everything. Check her out. That podcast, the full podcast, is definitely something to give a listen to. But let's get back into the meat and potatoes here with content marketing. Can't stress enough how important content marketing is to building your brand. Content marketing is the consistent strategic creation and sharing of relevant, valuable content, which generally doesn't explicitly promote a brand, but looks to simulate interest in its offers, ultimately driving profitable consumer action. Content refers to blogs, social media posts, videos, podcasts, ebooks, infographics, webinars, etc., 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 that you publish to represent yourself and your personal brand. Oh, Tom Ferry. Oh, I forgot about this one. Tom Ferry. So yes, he looks a little bit younger because his video is a little bit on the older side, but he really hits it home here with building your brand in real estate. And I love playing this video. He's just so energetic and it really makes you feel like you've got this because you do. the empowerment within it, just watch. Just watch.
Hey, it's Coach Tom Ferry. Happy Friday. Welcome to Life by Design, your place online for ideas, inspiration, and what? How to stay in the right action. So let me ask you a question. How's your brand? I talked to you about it a few weeks ago. I want to go a little deeper with you. I've got some questions, some coaching I want to, if I will, provide you today as you think about becoming perhaps one of the more recognizable people in your marketplace. Are there advantages? Are there disadvantages? The answer is absolutely yes. Advantages, a lot more business. You walk into a listing presentation, they already know you, they already trust you, they already like you. You're going to win that business. You're going to win. Disadvantages, privacy. You got to work through it. I mean, are you okay sitting down at a restaurant and having 4 people walk by and go, oh my God, there he is, there she is. You're that agent. We hear all these things about you. We see you everywhere. If you don't like that, well, this could be an odd message. Maybe turn it off because that's the goal. So, question number 1, what is your brand? What is your brand? How would you describe it? Top 5 words, how you would describe yourself in the business. And then, if you really want to go deep, you ask your past clients and sphere, what are the top 5 words you would use to describe me in this business? That helps you understand what your brand looks like today, what people are saying about you as they say, this is Humma Humma. Second question, what do clients want? What do clients want? I mean, do you actually think like honesty and loyalty and trust are things that people want today? Or are those a no-brainer, a prerequisite to get in? What are you going to do, right? Integrity on your business card? What is it, 1987? Give me a break, right? That stuff is mandatory. It is automatic today. Who are you really? What do your clients really want? You know what I discovered? Most people want the knowledge broker. They want the person that knows everything about the trends, the numbers, the facts, the statistics, who lives in the community, who are the builders, who are the developers, what were the models like, what is the product like, what is it worth, what is it not worth, what's going to happen next, and guess what? The knowledge broker dominates in today's environment. But that's just my opinion. What do you want your brand to be? Number 3, we're in the storytelling business. What's your story? In 15 words or less, I put you on the 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock local news in your town, and everybody's going to watch. And you've got 15 words or less to describe you. How would you do it? Can you do it? Would you be comfortable doing it? What would you say? Would it be value added for the customer, or would it be about you and your business and your performance? Something to think about with your brand. Here's the bonus question. I would challenge you to get your yellow notepad, your iPad out, and write down, how will I become the most recognizable agent in my marketplace on and offline, and list out at least 20 things you can do. We just did this in Inner Circle last week. I talked about it with Park City, hanging out, snowboarding, having fun with this extraordinary group of agents. And we talked about what are things they can do at 0 cost to extend their brand. Think about it. Think about it. We are in the people business. If they know you, they think they know of you, they think they know you, they think they like you, they think they trust you, you're the agent of choice. And that's what I want for you. That's what I want for you. So, think about it, get to work. It's Friday. Build your brand. Remember always, your strategy matters, and with your brand, your passion really rules. Talk to you soon.
Tom Ferry always has some great things to say, and I always enjoy when he tells you to think about it, because you should think about it. But think about here as well, ways to build your personal brand with content marketing. He talked about what is the understood, like he says, what are you going to put integrity on your business card? So what else are you going to put on your business card? How else are you going to get that out there? One of the ways is posting consistently on social media. And if you watch any of my other webinars that I give on social media, I will always tell you that consistency is key. To stand out, you need to attract the attention of your ideal audience and post content that represents your personal brand's values in a way that educates, entertains, or motivates people. Your consistent effort with targeted content will entice the appropriate people to you and grow a community. On social media, you want to take advantage of the sometimes informal, even casual tone to publish maybe a little more personal content, including your opinions and unique thoughts relative to the industry. Now, again, something else that I push also is video. And video is a form of content marketing that's going to boost your personal brand quickly and effectively. Video is extremely engaging and personal, and it often builds emotional connections much faster than blogging or just a picture. You don't need to be a celebrity or have an audience to begin video recording and publishing. Just take out your smartphone. You got your iPhone, your Samsung phone, whatever it is you got there. You press record. You can even go live. And when you go live, you can also answer questions, because assisting people with their most pressing question is a gesture of goodwill, which also enables you to showcase your knowledge. And in the process, you're forming online connections and trust while building your personal brand through content marketing. I've got a webinar on content marketing. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So now, I know everybody tells me, blogging, but by regularly blogging on relevant topics that interest your target audience, you build a community and position yourself as an authority in that community. And over time, this can help you become a trusted resource for information on your niche. Yes, it's important to publish consistently for a blog, because if you don't, how are you really going to grow? But also turn it into a podcast if you're not, so much for writing and you want to speak it and get your voice heard. Because maybe video isn't your thing. You can still do something that's a little techie, if you will, and do a podcast. Podcast fans listen to an average of 7 shows weekly. Listeners are downloading podcasts on their mobile devices and listen on the go. Almost 70% of podcasts are consumed on a mobile device. So, aside from videos, the mobility factor makes this type of content accessible, convenient, and appealing. And with either thing, with video, blogs, or podcasts, you can appear in a guest interview that gives you access to other people's networks and introduce you to new audiences. One of the biggest advantages is that you gain immediate influence and authority through association. And in the process of being interviewed, you'll be viewed as a legitimate expert in your field by the interviewer's community. So, in other words, there's a trust transference that occurs from the interviewer to you as a result of the interview. A content strategy is a little bit different from a social media strategy. So a content strategy is really thinking through what your brand is all about. And your brand is so much more than just your logo or the colors on your website that we have been hearing about here. Your brand is really what people say about you when you're not in the room. And it's all the different ways that it feels like to work with you. Tom Ferry said that. So when you think about your content strategy and telling your story in a very noisy world, start by thinking about what are the different topics that are relevant to your brand. Fortunately, you're already in possession of everything that you need to establish your benefit to potential clients. Okay. Now, the formula for establishing your unique value proposition is hidden within your pre-existing attributes, your knowledge, skills, experience, relationships. Examine your resume, life experiences, and educational background to uncover the qualifications that compose your personal validity. Maybe you want to even, collect third-party endorsements from people you've done business with to obtain their impression of working with you to further develop your value. Okay. So as you can see here, I've got some examples. I really love the one for a stay-at-home mom that raised 3 children, has amazing negotiating, management, and conflict resolution skills. These are just some really great examples to understanding your personal value, because you got it. You have it. There's no reason to sit there and go, oh, yes, you do. You do. You have it. You just gotta think about it a little bit. So once you've uncovered your particular set of attributes, the next step is to determine how these experiences are relevant to real estate. Ask yourself how these values can be of benefit to your future real estate clients. The key here is to convey exactly how your particular quality adds value to your clients by using this formula. Got your yellow notepad out there? Get your pencil. I'll give you a sec. Clean piece of paper. Yep, here we go. This is key. Here's the formula. Because of my attribute, clients get benefit. Right? Okay, because of my attribute, clients get benefit. So here, Here are my examples for you here. Attribute. My career in the Navy. Benefit. Provides me with relationships to access thousands of military home buyers and sellers. Attribute. My ability to speak 2 languages. Benefit. Opens your home to many buyers overlooked by other agents. Attribute. Being raised in this community. Benefit. Gives me local expertise and a wide network of potential home buyers and sellers. One more example. Attribute. Our large real estate company. Benefit. Provides and exposes your home to a maximum number of potential buyers. So as you can see, it's very easy to translate value to benefit. You've got it there. I know you do. And it's important to remember that a value proposition can still be unique, even if many other agents offer similar benefits. Uniqueness can also be achieved by using bold, clever, or memorable wording that sticks in the minds of potential clients before you even meet them in person, as you can see in the examples here. I mean, my favorite one, Tony Keller, the home seller. I mean, that just, rolls off the tongue like that too. But unique messages. What does Tom Ferry say? 15 words or less. This is even less than that. So what do you got? And once you've created a unique value proposition, it's time to position it everywhere to begin gaining the mind share of the public. Although the messages should be included in all print and marketing materials and your primary website, the placement doesn't stop there. It's got to become well publicized that, as Krista was talking about, most home buyers begin their search online, and it's essential to have a complete online presence to evidence the ability to market and locate property. Okay, I've got one more video here from Alicia Crestal, and she is going to talk about branding for realtors. So it begins with shining a light on who you are and allowing the things that make you special stand out. I really wanted to show you this just to drive home the point that I'm trying to make.
Does the thought of starting a brand and building it, growing it, overwhelm you? Well, let's simplify it in this video. I'm going to break down exactly what you need to know. If you landed here because you want to grow your business through things like leveraging branding and building relationships, my name is Alicia Crestal, and that's what I love to share with you guys. So make sure you hit the subscribe button so we can share all the tips with you. Whether you're just starting out with your brand or you have one established and you're growing it, by the end of this video, you're going to be able to do things like start today to grow it even more and be more purposeful about getting your brand out there. And I know you can do it because not only have I done it with the crabs, for my real estate brand, but also Mother Hustler with my coaching brand. And I've helped other agents do that as well. So I know it's something that you can do without spending a ton of money. Number one is most people are starting in the wrong place. They're thinking in the wrong direction. They're thinking more, what should my logo look like? What should my business cards look like? How are my flyers going to look? That's great. Yes, we want to do that, but that's not where to start. You have to start with yourself. Who are you? What do you want to be known for? What colors are important to you? Anything that it is you, like you need to bring you to life. Number two, now that you're starting with yourself, what do you represent? Because if all else fails and you have no branding at all, you're your brand, and that's what people have seen so far. So what is it about you? What do you want to portray? What do you want people to remember you by when you're not around? What colors are associated with you? What things are associated with you? It could be something like a crab, or maybe you love cake or you love pink. There are plenty of things that you can pick that are you. And if you need help with this, down below you can download, it's free, a downloadable that walks you through some things that kind of help you identify what your brand can be built around. And it's very simple. Once you've done that, we're going to look for some visual things that can represent that feeling, that color, whatever it is. For me, it ended up being a crab, but it didn't start that way. I started thinking, I am zero memorable. I have nothing memorable about me. And it took me a while just to figure out, like, I love crabs. Let me talk more about it and put it out there more. I didn't go gangbusters in the beginning and say, my whole logo, my whole brand is going to be built around crabs. It happens organically, and you have to get it from yourself, and your friends might be able to help you with figuring out what they know you for and what they remember about you. What do they like about you? Number three is you have plenty of things you can do without spending a lot of money. You can literally test this out and figure out if it's going to catch on. Like if yours is a crab or an ice cream or you love gold, you can put an emoji. Like if you love pizza, put a pizza emoji in every single comment that you make and see if it catches on. Start hashtagging little phrases that go with whatever you like. Crab lady. I mean, people have literally texted me crab lady, and I get all kinds. These were both the things behind me, both gifts that people, because they thought of me, sent it to me. That's amazing. Like, you can't buy that kind of advertising and marketing. Don't be something that you're not. Don't try to get a brand just because you want to look a certain way or be a certain way. If you never wear heels, like, don't wear a suit and heels on your business card. Be who you are, and we're going to shine a light on that, not change what it is. Number 4 is be specific. So whatever it is that you want to shine a light on and highlight about you and your business, we're going to give specific examples to our audience about that, to our clients, to the people on social media. We want to tell them, hey, this is what we're all about, and we want to consistently give them examples. For example, as a listing agent, we all do a lot of the same things, yet my brand, I want them to see a little bit different. I want them to know how important their story and their house's story is to me, and how I can make it kind of a magical thing for people to read. So in one of my last listings, I wrote something to the effect of that so many milestones have been photographed at this scenic home on the land. And it painted a picture of, this is not a 3/4 acre. This is a magical place where milestones happen, and this can be your forever home. I wanted that to come across, so I let listing appointments know that, and I let people know that I care. I once thought that putting care in your marketing was a weak thing to do, and now I know that's just who I am, and it's important for people to know if you're a caring agent versus I'm just about the numbers and I'm going to squish you in the process. I mean, you could be about the numbers and not squish people in the process. See how I just took something that every agent does and was free to me to just tweak? I framed it differently. Every agent writes remarks. I now use that remarks section as part of my brand, showing people how I care. And I highlight that. If part of your brand is going to be that you're the local expert about a certain subdivision or a certain town, then please make your content around that area. Always have the subdivision sign or the area sign, or mention this is where you are in X town, or this house in this town. Make sure that if local is your thing, that you're putting local in everything that you do. And this can include figuring out when Christmas lights or holiday lights are put up, and put a map out with where the lights are in that neighborhood. Everything should point to what that you want to portray and have people think of you. You don't want to be the subdivision neighborhood or the town neighborhood and then you're doing all different kinds of content and they don't know where you are. You do trivia around that neighborhood. You do scavenger hunts around that neighborhood. Everything's focused around what you want people to think the story is. What is the first thing that pops in your mind about your brand? Maybe look for an emoji and see if you see an emoji that kind of goes with who you are and what you want to do for fun. Let me know what emoji represents you. Number 5 is, once you've got that idea of what you want and what you want to be known for, give it a whirl. Start incorporating it into everything that you do. Everything, including if you're going to do client events, okay? You could do any client event. You could do regular Popeyes. You could do anything you wanted, but why not make it around your brand? Like, you might be able to guess what kind of events I have. Like, if I'm going to have a picnic, what would it be? I have a crab feast because it envelops my brand in there. You don't have to start so big. If you wanted your brand to be like, you always wear hats and you want them to be red hats, then maybe you do a picnic, just a cookout or something, and you ask everybody to wear a red hat. Or you're wearing a red hat. It doesn't mean you have to go buy t-shirts for every single person that's ever coming or red hats for every single person that's coming. And for me, I don't have to do a crab feast, but I could do a little event, or I could do crab cookies and send them to them. It doesn't have to be so big, but how can you incorporate it smallly? For example, the envelopes that you send. You could send a white envelope with a USA stamp that sends them out, or you could find one that might match your brand or at least your personality if it doesn't have a specific match. Like, I never send envelopes with regular stamps because I don't want them to think it's spam. I'm doing orange envelopes and I'm trying to find a funny or cute stamp to put in it. You're looking for consistent things and things that you can tweak a little bit. Instead of wearing a black shirt, if your thing is orange, always wear an orange shirt. That's something very simple that you can do to get people to know, like, oh, whenever I see orange, this is what happens. Or if you have golden retrievers, post about your golden retrievers all the time. Make something cute about your golden retrievers part of your marketing, so whenever they see a golden retriever, they're thinking of you. I mean, that's amazing. If every time they see a golden retriever or even a dog, they're thinking of this realtor they know, that's the power of having a brand, no matter what it is, just as long as it's true to you. Number 6 is that I want you to realize that branding, and when you're true to yourself, will repel some people and it'll attract some people. And you want that. You want, like if you do have golden retrievers and people hate dogs, you want them to stay away from you because you don't want to work with somebody who hates dogs. We're not going to drive. So why not repel those people and really attract the people who love dogs? If they love dogs and they see your stuff, they're going to be like, man, maybe that's the realtor for me versus whomever in town. Because everybody knows a bunch of realtors, but you can be the one that stands out. This one is the one that I think people fail at the most, and it's getting yourself to connect with your audience and connect with your sphere so they get the sense of who you are. To go in and instead of post, you look at their stuff on social media and you comment, and then you add the crab in the comment. Or you genuinely ask what's going on with them. It's so many agents want to put out. And this needs to be a two-way street. It needs to be a connection. And when you proactively communicate with your sphere in that way and ask questions about what's going on in their life and make time for that, that helps them understand your brand. It gives you opportunities to connect consistently and show them who you are. And that, out of everything, you could do all of these things, but when you add that into the layer of communicating with them and connecting on a deeper level with your sphere, your brand gets cemented. Like it is the 10x factor, if you want to say that. That's the 10x factor. I'm happy to do a test run with you. If you want to comment or message me and say something and see if your brand comes off to me, test it. I'll tell you. Ask me, what do you think my brand stands for? Or what do you think I stand for? If you're getting value out of this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up because it helps me know, oh, they like this content. Let me make more of it. Also, it gives YouTube an indicator to show the video to more people, which I love. Thank you.
Okay, real agent, real examples, real life. That's Alicia. She's got some good stuff on her channel as well. But before we go, one more thing before we go. I want you to remember these few things here, which is really to drive home exactly what she was talking about as well. You want to use content, which is essential to building your authority, but you don't want to forget the importance of having well-written social media profiles and custom branded images. She was talking about her crab. As people will often look at your profile before or after reading your content. So your social media profiles are a very important part of your personal branding. Now, I know it's a lot. I don't want you to get overwhelmed. I know there's a lot of things to think about. Thinking about where is your business coming from? Spending your time and effort on people you know or people you don't know. Asking yourself if you can afford to try a social profile instead of just focusing and targeting on what you've got so far. How well are you doing on this one social profile with this particular brand? Think about it. As Tom Ferry says, think about it. The key here is to develop relationships so they like you more. That's where business comes from. So it's up to you to get past the tech and get involved. That will make all the difference in the world. The process for obtaining a client is the same as it's always been. All these online things can help you, but it's not the only tool. Once you get the deal, have a relationship because you are both real people and online is not enough. So, I hope this helps you with going about your profiles, your online profiles, building your bio, getting your brand personality put together. You want to focus on the right audience, deliver the right message across the right channel. This is and always will be a people business. Don't get caught in the hype without proper planning and budgeting. Be smarter. You're going to spend less time, work easier, and make more. So, if you have any questions, you want to reach out, you want to build a strategy, get yourself going, set up on a profile, whatever it might be, that's my email, that's my phone number. Feel free to reach out anytime. Hope you learned a little bit more about online lead generation with your brand. My name is Bridget. I am the social media guru and technical trainer here at Realty Executives New Jersey. Thanks so much for joining me. Until next time.